Hi everyone, you've probably seen my Weyland deck in action before. It's almost the same as the Supermodernism deck that has been championed by a couple of people on the forums. Link to that is in the description below. What is most interesting about this video, however, is my opponent, Kate. I mean, when you see Kate, it's a very normal ID. You expect big rig and maybe Atman, or maybe just lots of big programs and lots of money. But can you figure out what she's trying to do? Her first turn, she installs access to global sec, followed by underworld contacts, a daily cast, and I believe it's a sure gamble for money. The second turn, she installs a prof contacts. So can you figure out what she's up to? I don't know, but I didn't care. All I did was to start scoring my agendas. First I got the geothermal fracking out. Because I needed income, I had no money cards. Kate continues with a second underworld contacts and a clone chip. Can you figure out what she's trying to do? I still can't. There's nothing in the heap right now, so the clone chip isn't of relevance. Figuring out what your opponent is going to do is very important, because then you'll be able to judge the tempo of the game, and more importantly, you'll know, for this deck, I would know whether she can infiltrate through my remote server or not, because that's the most important thing. If she can infiltrate through my remote server, I won't be able to score agendas anymore, and that's where I have to start relying on other ways to win the game. She continues building up her economy with daily casts. The first few turns, she was hovering low on credits from in the 2 to 5 range. Now she's going back up to 4 credits and gaining 6 every turn. 4 from daily casts, 2 from underworld contacts. And professional contacts gets another 2. Gets another 1 credit per click with a free card. That card over there is same old thing. Same old thing? No, sorry. All-nighter. Yes, all-nighter. So, can you figure out what she's trying to do? She's trying to get a 5 turn, a turn with 5 clicks. But what is she going to use the 5 clicks for? She hasn't really revealed her hand yet. Very hard for me to tell. Okay, now there's something there. Medium. Okay, it's quite obvious now. She's trying to dig medium. Dig R&D. With medium, if she can get 5 clicks off of R&D, that will be quite devastating. It probably won't be game, but I definitely don't want that to happen. Meanwhile, I score a project alert with 1 counter on it. Very important. However, she's now ballooning in credits with 3 underworld contacts now, and a daily cast activated, and drawing lots of cards and money with prof contacts. I highly doubt I can get any sea scotch going, but still I keep it in my hand because you never know when you need it. Oh, as if you don't have enough money, sure gamble. Yes, so far I draw into a power shutdown, and no brainer, the clone chip has got to go. I think you'll see me browsing through the archives later. You'll see what's in there. Meanwhile, I discard the ice walls, which are not going to be of much use, I reckon. While icing up R&D a little bit more, because, well, medium. Right now, I'm not that afraid because she doesn't have any breakers or any SMCs or clone chips out yet. Yes, I look at her heap. Basically, there are 2 breakers, Atman and Creeper. Creeper would be pretty strong against Archer. That's not very nice. Atman is fine. She doesn't have data suckers, and she's not running my servers at all. Which is actually interesting, because that means I cannot use C-Source on her. But anyway, she's not running at all, meaning that Atman is pretty useless. Because I have a variety of ice. Caduceus is at 3, Enigma's at 2, Icewall is at 1. So, Atman is is essentially a knight that cannot move. It can only break 1 piece of ice. I install an archer over the remote because I know that I need to secure it in order to continue scoring agendas. I'm digging for my 3rd agenda, 2-pointer, but I just couldn't find it, which was very unfortunate. I took off the last token from geothermal fracking because, I don't know, I had nothing better to do. Yes. The problem was that I wasn't drawing to my agendas, which was a huge pity. Meanwhile, I just watched her credit stack balloon up. Now she's at 29 credits. It's terrible. Another mandatory draw. No agendas again, and I'm getting quite panicky because I cannot rest the Archer. I don't want to sacrifice geothermal fracking, even though it's empty, 2 agenda points is too much, and I certainly don't wish to sacrifice my Atlas with a counter. So I use my Atlas counter to retrieve a hostile takeover. So now, if I draw a 2-pointer, I can put in a remote and score it the next turn for the win, as long as she cannot get in the remote, which she can't because I have an archer there. I draw a hostile takeover next, very good. So now I have 6 points. She has none. What is she trying to do? She hasn't done a single thing. She hasn't ran a single time. Is she expecting to win this game? Is she gonna sneak door beta me because I have no agendas in hand? What is she gonna do with all that money? Is she gonna install Garrod, Morningstar, or a Monolith out of nowhere? Can't be, right? What on earth will you do with 46 credits? And I look at the heap, there's 2 copies of New Agenda City Hall, which really puzzles me. Against Weyland, I think that is the card you want to have out, especially since she's not stealing any agendas. Why isn't she using her New Agenda City Hall? Why isn't she throwing it out there? That is very baffling for me. I couldn't really figure out what she's trying to do, and yeah, I haven't seen much of her influence yet. Another clone chip comes out. I'm looking to power shut down that. Oh. Right. Okay. Can't do anything about that. To res or no res, there's no diff. The armor will come out either way. I chose to res it and bring the armor out because I wanted to get rid of the clone chip. Because there's no ice wall over R&D, I know that R&D is safe from the Atman. So I rather have to deal with an Atman 1 than to deal with a clone chip that can become an Atman 2 or 3 anytime it likes. So I got banned. The 40 something credits did pay off. And now that she's pulled her all-nighter, she's gonna get 2 or 3 runs on R&D. Interesting strategy, to say the least. And even more interestingly, she out-econned me, out-econned a transaction-based Weyland. That's amazing. That's just amazing. Who knew I would ever be out-econned? I mean, you build a deck specifically to get lots of money, with geothermal fracking and hostile takeover and lots of transactions, and you lose the economy race. That's amazing. Well, too bad I didn't score 7 agendas fast enough. So now I'm paying the price. He scores 3, including the hostile takeover that I could score from. The last hostile takeover that I could score from him. I was hoping that I would draw a beanstalk so that I could at least get some credits back up. But I didn't, so all I could do was to gain 3 credits. The unfortunate thing was that I used up my last geothermal fracking token. Man, that's so sad. Had I reserved it there, I wouldn't be in these dire straits right now. So now, since I gained 3 credits so that I could rest Enigma distant and hopefully keep him up. But with Eclipsis, well, so much for that. He's able to break through. All he needs to spend is 1 click and return. He needs to spend 1 click charging up his Eclipsis and another click to run. So in other words, he can make 2 runs every turn, and he scores an Atlas, which is very worrying. Now he's on match point. With no more hostile takeovers in the deck, the next agenda is pretty much game. Oh man, yeah, this is really tough. I thought about it long and hard. Since I've been shut out of agendas and I have no money, there's nothing I can do. I'm pretty much going to lose this game. It sucks having to play knowing that you are going to eventually lose the game. Then I realized you could clear virus counters. Alright, that can buy me 1 turn of respite. And a good thing that he left 1 virus token on Eclipsis, so yeah, I wasted 1 click in addition to that. But this is only a very temporary respite. I'm still at 0 credits, and he's still going to be able to dig through my R&D. The thing is, he's still going to lock down my R&D. I will not see any agendas. And I have no Jackson Howards in this deck. If there were, he would trash the Jackson Howards anyway. So I'm getting completely R&D locked at this point. There's no way I can recover from it actually. Yeah, I'm pretty much resigned to losing. Yeah, there's not much I can do. I don't have any credits. I can't do anything. I can only draw cards and hope that it's a beanstalk. But what will beanstalk do? Money is not gonna help me win. I need more ice on R&D and money to rest the ice. The innermost piece of ice is a Caduceus, if you've forgotten already, and it's useless, completely useless against Kate, because not only does she have 2 link now, she also has 4 backpack and 26 credits, so forget about raising it. Alright, what will you do here? Tough choice. You draw an anonymous tip. Do you draw through the entire deck to see cards and hope that one of them is an agenda? But seeing an agenda is useless because firstly, he'll just continue digging through new cards next turn, and yeah, you just continue digging through new cards next turn and probably get an agenda. So my only hope now was that there's a good buffer of non-agenda cards on top of my deck right now, and I'll let him collect virus tokens and the like. So what does he do? Click 3, demolition run. So that's where all his influence went. It's a very ingenious way to do it. You demolition run, you see 3 cards, you trash all 3 cards. And with your next click, you can see 4 new cards. Oh man, it's so sickening. Well, there's nothing I could do about it. No point resting the Caduceus, as I said. So, yeah. I could only watch in horror as he dug through my deck. He hit a snare! I have 3 credits. He hit a snare! I have 3 credits. Oh, man. That would have killed him. He had only 1 card in hand. The snare would have killed him, but I was 1 credit short. Such a pity. Alright, so first turn, Beanstalk, green double clearance, second turn, anonymous tip. I was thinking, what can I do now? Next turn, I've dug through all my cards. Next turn, he's just gonna dig through R&D and win the game. And I realized he's tagged. He has 1 card in hand. He's going down. Game. Yeah, that was very careless of him. The tag came from the VAM long ago, and he neglected to remove it. Had he removed the tag, he would have had the game, because there was no way I was tagging him with Seesaws, with his incredible credit lead, and the snares were all used up. So he should have won the game. He was just a bit careless. But then again, you could say the same thing for me. I was careless in that I left geothermal fracking open. I mean, yeah, I used up my tidal geothermal fracking, not knowing that I would be siphoned to death like that. Well, a lesson learned the hard way for me. A very interesting deck indeed. Hopefully you've gained some insight into this very interesting deck archetype. Amass a huge credit lead and do a 1 good VAM and return the corp back to nothing while you punish him with free R&D access. Free because the corp cannot raise anything. Very interesting, huh? Well, thanks for watching.